Alright, so I was going through, as I do every few days on the CEX website in Australia, I was going through my saved items list, and I saw that every single DVD I have saved says, "We don't buy this anymore." Now, obviously the message there is clear, but I'm wondering why they've done this for everything. Now, they still buy Blu-rays. I guess people buy Blu-rays from them more often, or maybe they don't have as many Blu-rays in stock. But the DVDs that I'm looking for, that I buy, uh, these are ones that are out of print, hard to find. A lot of stuff that I'd be buying to sell myself, but some stuff that I'd be buying just for myself, like Shin Chan Volume 4. I don't have any Shin Chan DVDs. My wife and I love to watch it together. Very funny. Spellbinder, complete series. Quiet Family, one I want for myself, as well as Ned. And it's like they're not buying something that they sell for $20. And I don't understand that, because all of these, whenever they've popped up on the CEX website, they've sold immediately. I've missed out on a lot of these in the past. This one used to be a lot more expensive. I believe I've sold this upwards of $45 before, but now it only goes for about 20, 25. Some stuff I've never seen go up. Like Shame of the Jungle, one I watched when I was younger and thought was very funny. Stuff that I didn't think would be super rare, like House on Haunted Hill, the 1999 version. I didn't think that would be super rare, but it never really pops up. And now I guess Bush Christmas, so one I wanted to watch. Rough, Tough, and Real. Something that I didn't think would be like super hard to find, The Girl from Tomorrow, but it seems like if they ever get copies in, they just sell immediately. But I guess I'll click on it. It doesn't lead anywhere. Delivery unavailable, collection unavailable, no copies for sale. Uh, we sell for $6, but we don't buy it for anything. And Boy and His Dog, that's a movie that people in the know would be very interested in that movie. So I wanted to check it out. I went to DVDs because I thought, surely it can't be all DVDs, because there'd be some DVDs that are very easy to sell for them. But when I looked, every single DVD, not for sale anymore. Or it's for sale, but they're not offering to buy it. I understand why they do this. Not really worth their time to buy something to sell it for, $2. Have it sitting on the shelf for, months and months. It's just the website's glitched out. It's just really not worth their time. And I understand that. But there's a lot of DVDs there that I guess they really shouldn't be. Like, I'll go to a few sections where if they ever get copies in of these, they would sell immediately. Like anime DVDs, they really don't have very many of those in their stores. And a lot of this stuff, would sell immediately. Spirited Away, 2-disc set, they don't buy that anymore. There's good stuff there, but they don't buy it anymore, even though it's stuff that I imagine would sell. Maybe not like individual episode sets, but collections would sell. On the DVD side, Let's see here. I could actually see like feature films. But I think this is just like all encompassing. And you can see how many are in these stores. You know, its Parramatta store has almost 3,000 DVDs. Strathpine has almost 2,600, almost 2,600, 2,500, 2,400. You know, I can understand if they have heaps and heaps of DVDs piling up and not selling, they don't want to buy any more. But I don't think this is the way to go about it, because I am living proof that you can make money with DVDs. You just have to be selective. You know, like even that's a great price for that version of The Shining. I've sold that heaps. We sell for $4. If anyone's not buying that, they're stupid. Shit, I might buy that. Hold on. But there's good stuff here. The problem is, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's so common, they shouldn't be buying in copies of it. You know, I think once a store, or once CEX has 5 or 10 copies of something in their system, they need to consider whether they need to buy anymore. Because I'm sure that, let's see, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Very popular movie. You know, 3 and plus, most are 4 plus in stock. Yeah, these stores have heaps of copies of these really common movies, but then no copies of, you know, all of these really rare, harder to find movies. And if they're not buying them in anymore, then they're actually going to be losing money on them, because look, they could be getting $18 for Say I Love You, and I'm sure they were paying, you know, 50 cents for a copy of it, so the money is there. You know, $12 for a copy of Kite, that's good profit if you're only buying it for 50 cents. If that, I know they pay like 5-10 cents for most movies, especially if they're only selling them for a few dollars each. So I think they've gone a bit crazy with this. I don't understand why they've even the world movies, you know, Battle Royale. I don't understand it. You know, Lone Wolf and Cub. That's a great movie. I think people would be interested in buying that. Seven Samurai. Yeah, these are ones that I've sold for good money on eBay myself. So I don't know why they're not willing to buy good titles anymore. Fair enough, you don't want to buy bad titles because they don't sell, but you know, make it so that it's more selective. I know the idea is that you take all of your old stuff to CEX and you sell it all, but the reality is, for a business to stay in business, they need a second-hand store. They need to be selective about what they're buying. You know, Red Cliff Parts 1 and 2, I've sold that before. And if they're selective, then they can still make it work with DVDs, and it will actually be better, because people will go in and they won't see 100 copies of, or they won't see 3-4 copies of all of these common movies. They might go in and they might see, you know, good titles they actually want to pick up. So I don't know if they're completely phasing out DVDs altogether. I'm really not sure. If they're never going to buy them in again, or if they're just not buying them in at the moment. It's really hard to tell. One thing I find about CEX Australia is that it's kind of hard to find any information about them. They don't really have, beyond their online store, they don't have an online presence. I don't think they have a Facebook. I don't think they're on Twitter. I don't think they're on really any social media, which for a business these days, that's really essential. You need to make sure there's some ways that people can contact you to ask questions. They rarely update the blog. I'm sure they won't make any blog posts for this because all of their blog posts are just like garbage articles that it's really nothing. Stuff that might look good for the brand, but doesn't really mean anything for customers. And it's strange. I really hope they're not fully going away from buying DVDs because I do enjoy buying DVDs from CEX. I've bought quite a few in the past. I'm sure they've made quite a bit of money off of me from buying DVDs and selling stuff to them as well. I mean, look at this. I mean, they're paying 5 cents to sell for 2.50. Um, Maybe they need to consider, something like this is not worth selling for $2.50 because how many people are going to want it? How many people are going to come in and want Matrix Reloaded? $2 for a movie that's available on every streaming service. I'm sure it's available on a streaming service. I'm sure you can go onto Disney Plus and watch Moana, but what they should be doing is buying titles and like I'm not sure where they actually get their prices for movies because I found heaps of stuff on the CEX website that's well undervalued. Like that copy of The Shining. Let me see if I can find it here. Uh, Shining TV series. I've sold this for quite a bit in the past. Yeah, I mean, look, someone's asking $43. I'm sure it's not selling for that, but let's see what it actually does sell for. Yeah, look, $24.99. 31 from the United Kingdom. Yeah, this is a title with values, and they're selling it for $4 with delivery available. $3 postage. You know, this is another thing too. This guy pointed out the only copy I could find for a reasonable price. Uh, Smudges and scratches. I've often noticed that as well. It seems like the workers that get in at these CEX stores do not care at all about the stuff they're buying in. Sometimes they're picky, but most of the time I've noticed they're not picky at all. It's actually gotten to the point where I've hesitated from buying from the CEX online store because I don't know if the product I'm getting is going to be scratched or in good condition. I've bought very expensive titles in the past that have come with no instruction booklets, scratched discs. I bought a copy of Zelda GameCube. I bought a copy of this back when it was a lot cheaper than this. Zelda Four Swords Adventures. I believe it was maybe 150 at the time. But it came with no manual, scratch disc, and it was like I had to take it back because I'm not paying the going rate for something for it to come in bad condition. Same with I believe it was this one, Digital Devil Saga 2. I bought that for 125. It's not going up or down, and it came with no manual and a scratch disc. No, for an expensive title like this, they really need to be picky. They need to make sure their employees are well trained and not just because half the time I see their employees whenever I go in, they're just behind the counter goofing off. It's like you could be doing inventory management, making sure everything is displayed nicely, uh, cleaning dirty cases, cleaning dirty discs, stuff like that. But that's another subject. I have a lot of issues with CEX. I do enjoy shopping there, but it's really not a perfect experience at all, which is unfortunate because it could be much, much better. But yeah, that's it for now. Hopefully they're not completely going away from DVDs altogether, because I do enjoy shopping there for DVDs. I go in and I find a lot of titles that I've never heard of before and I really want to watch, and other titles that I've been looking for forever and can't find for a good price. Sometimes they pop up on the CEX webshop. So I hope they're not getting rid of them altogether. Thank you for watching. Seagull of my house bidding you farewell.